always ready. He's not on the show, though.
I never tell you when I'm recording. I never. Remember, we were supposed to like just record our phone conversations, and I tried to do it, but like we actually sucked at it because we didn't know how to talk very well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And welcome to the Devoid Wrestling Podcast.
Play the theme song music that I wrote.
This is the theme song that Micah wrote. Play it.
Devoid Wrestling Podcast, yeah, we're still getting started. Watching old shows and ragging on them. It's Big Mike and it's Derrick, talking about freaking wrestling. We know how this whole thing goes. Sometimes we go to the shows. Get ready for the podcast, 'cause we're gonna get started now.
Hi. Hey.
Hi.
In May of 2017, there was some random guy who asked Dave Meltzer, "Can Ring of Honor be good?" And he said, "No."
And then the Young Buck said, yeah, we can.
And then Cody said, you know what, Dave? I bet Ring of Honor could be good. And then it wasn't.
And then it wasn't.
And then it was for one night.
And then it wasn't. And then they took talent from a lot of other places, and it was good for one night.
And then it was. And then that was the death of Ring of Honor.
Yes, and wrestling.
I think we've actually talked about that. I think Derrick and I have talked about that. That All In is like the nail in the coffin.
Which is unfortunate because it's like also the blossom of AEW, basically.
No, not basically. It just is.
Yeah.
I think now it's canon that it's
legally
now that Tony Khan owns it.
Right.
And if Tony Khan wants to pay us, because we're not robots.
Hey, Tony Khan, you can pay me less than Sean Rossap. I'll be okay with that.
And you can pay Derrick less than me, and he'll be okay with that.
I didn't say that.
I have student loans. You need to calm down. You got more time. You've got more time.
Not a lot. Also, I am paying student loans because I took a semester off.
Yeah, you stupid little Derrick.
I can't learn on screens. I'm sorry.
Little Derrick.
I'm taller than you.
In one pair of boots, you are taller than me.
Probably in my regular pair of Docs as well.
Maybe, but I also have to not wear shoes.
That's true. The fine line we have to run. So, All In, huh?
Yeah. This is my first indie event, I guess.
Yeah,
I call this an indie event.
I think I've seen like other Ring of Honor shows before this, but like this was the first one I saw live.
No, I saw this live too because this was hold on, I have this all out. September 1st, 2018.
Yes.
At the Sears Center in Chicago, Illinois. Well, Chicago, Illinois. It was in Illinois.
Right.
All In. Co-promoted with New Japan Pro Wrestling, the National Wrestling Alliance, CMLL, AAA, and there were MLW people on this show.
There were.
But it wasn't co-promoted.
No.
No, not opening bout. Well, I mean, opening main card.
Opening bout of the main card. Yeah.
Yeah. This has on Wikipedia it says disputed. But there is 11,263,000 people attended this show live.
And I wasn't one of them.
Nor was I. Were you one of them?
Unfortunate.
Let us know. Tweet at us. We don't know.
Yeah, give us money. Who knows?
This got 50,000 buys on Fight.
That's a lot.
It is a lot. It's more than the Ring of Honor show that just happened.
Yeah. It's more than like most shows.
Yeah. To contrast, because usually we do like an ECW or WCW. So SummerSlam happened 2 weeks prior to this. Had an attendance of at the Barclays Center. Had an attendance of 16,169 people.
This is
Had a buy
SummerSlam
rate,
2018.
yeah, and had a buy rate of 29,900. The WWE Network used this though, so whatever. But which was main evented by Brock Lesnar versus
Samoa
Roman
Joe
Reigns.
versus it's not the Fatal
Brock
4-Way?
Lesnar versus Roman Reigns.
I've never seen that before. Crazy.
That match has only happened once.
That's their good one, right?
No, that's 31. SummerSlam 18 is like actually 3 minutes long because that's the one where Strowman just comes out and is just like, someone's gonna eat these hands and it's gonna be the winner of this match. And then Brock says no and throws the money in the bank.
That was so stupid.
And that was what was competing with All In.
I can't believe that there was interest in other wrestling.
Yeah. So on the pre-show, this match was unfindable, but the Briscoes versus SCU, Frankie Kazarian and Scorpio Sky, the SCU won, I guess. I haven't seen this match since 2018. That was over 3 years ago. I'm
sure it was good.
Yeah, it's the Briscoes and SCU.
Yeah, they're both good. Scorpio Sky's good,
Well,
should be champion, but
Yeah, Dave Meltzer gave that. Guess what, Derek? Guess what it gave? Because I've looked at all these. So guess.
Dave Meltzer, I want to guess he gave it 3.5.
No, he gave it 3 3/4.
Oh.
Yeah. Time to move on to my favorite battle royal of all time, the over the budget battle royal.
Do you want me to name all the competitors in this match?
I was going to.
Well, go ahead then.
Moose. Brandon Cutler, Chucky T, Trent Beretta, Rocky Romero, Cheeseburger, The Hurricane, Ethan Page, Tommy Dreamer, Jimmy Jacobs, Punishment Martinez, Austin Gunn, Billy Gunn, Marco Stunt, Brian Cage, Jordan Grace, Cole Cabana, Bully Ray, and Chico El Luchador, who is really Flip Gordon. But we'll get to that. Spoilers.
Oh no.
This had Dalton Castle on commentary, which is did you see Dalton Castle Saturday? Or at time of filming this Saturday?
At Battle of the Belts? Yeah, he stole the show, honestly. Dalton Castle reminded everyone about Dalton Castle. And therefore over.
This is, I guess, my first exposure to Dalton Castle, but my real first exposure to him was when because I don't like Dalton Castle's wrestling, so I don't watch his matches. So my first true exposure to him was the David Arquette Family Feud episode. Can you say living the gimmick? Because he's just as weird there as he is in real life.
He's just a guy who likes living large.
Yeah. Derek, talk about this match.
It's a battle royal. Flip Gordon. Flip Gordon in this match, Chica El Luchador, I guess. Flip Gordon is great at doing flips.
We'll talk about Flip Gordon later, because I feel like there's more to say about Flip Gordon because he doesn't do anything but win, Right. He takes a power bomb and then wins. He doesn't do much, so we shouldn't talk about him wrestling.
This is such a weird crop of people in a battle royal, considering a lot of these people did go to AEW, like Brandon Cutler, the three best friends. Ethan Page made his way over there.
Not Rocky
Austin
Romero.
And Billy Gunn.
Rocky Romero somewhere in here.
Sometimes. Rocky Romero's quasi on AEW.
Yeah,
he wrestles on Dark. He wrestles on Dark more frequently than he should for someone who's unsigned.
Ethan Page,
The Guns, Marco Stunt, Brian Cage,
Colt
Colt
Cabana.
Cabana, and thankfully not Bully Ray.
Thankfully, well, the Heat.
Thankfully.
Can you imagine
the Heat? Can you imagine the Heat if wrestling was bad? Just imagine the Heat.
Bully Ray would love Toxic Micah because of the heat. Because I get real heat from Derrick.
Bully Ray wouldn't understand that it's a joke.
It's Toxic Micah, kid. I mean, the amount of heat that he gets from the IWC.
I like to imagine the Greg Goldman arc was actually run by Bully Ray. It's just Bully Ray was the person who ran the Greg Goldman show. He was Fox Monroe.
No, Beaumont doesn't know wrestling that well. Hey, Ethan Page was like in the middle of heavy Ethan Page and current Ethan Page. It was real weird to see like chubby Ethan Page.
It was Ethan Page's version of when you see short-haired Bradshaw on SmackDown.
Yeah, that was my exposure. What Brian Cage and Punishment Martinez had like a little show off, and I was just like, oh man, this is never gonna happen.
If you had told me that one of these guys was gonna be like an upper mid-carder in WWE within the next 5 years, I would have said, of course Brian Cage is going to be an upper mid-carder in WWE in the next 5 years.
He's not good enough.
That's
what WWE said. Have you not seen that quote?
I haven't. Online? That stops WWE from signing.
Yeah, they said he's not good enough and they're not interested anymore.
Damn.
Yeah.
The same company that the Great Khali wrestled in,
that almost wrestles in
Commander Aziz wrestles in,
that Vince McMahon wrestled in recently, this month, 2 weeks ago.
Vince McMahon, Stone Cold, Edge. It's the Attitude Era. Who gives a shit? So Chico wins. And it's Flip.
Flip Gordon wins. Yeah.
Flip Gordon. The story with Flip going into this is that he couldn't get a spot on the card. He just couldn't.
Yeah.
Not even in
the
open
Cody wouldn't book him.
Yeah.
Cody wouldn't book him.
Cody wouldn't book him.
And yeah, there's no spot to do in a battle royal other than, I think I eliminated the last person, but somebody sneaks under because they weren't eliminated. What? That's like the only spot I guess that battle royals can do.
It is the only spot. That and then when Kofi Kingston's in one.
Yes.
Those are the 2 battle royal spots.
I gave this 2.5 out of 4.
I gave this a 2.5 out of 5. It's a battle royal.
Yeah, it sure is a battle royal. Transitioning to the main card where the national anthem is sung because Cody must have requested it.
It is sung and it is okay. I don't want to be mean. It's fine. It's the national anthem.
You know, we already have that. We already had that talk about the Pledge of Allegiance. We probably shouldn't have a take on the national anthem, even though we did last week.
Don't get me wrong. I love living in America.
Don't get me wrong. I have lived in America.
We open up to
Ian Riccaboni, Don Callis, and Excalibur on commentary. Which, first of all, dream team for me.
So good.
I'm
such a good team.
If there was Kevin Kelly as like a Rampage fourth, I might be too excited.
This team is so good. And I really have to reiterate how good Don Callis is at commentary. Because he's on it for the entire night.
He's actually not on
He's
commentary.
actually not on for the entire night. But for when he is on, he is
on. Yeah. He is. He's very good at wrestling commentary. There's a very funny thing that happens later, I guess. Yeah, when we get to it in my notes.
Okay.
MJF is the same. The MJF that you're watching in AEW is literally the same character, but it's better. It's better now.
Yeah, this is MJF. This is MJF before he like became
Finds
a
money.
super villain, and this
Yeah.
is just like he's a rising villain at this point.
This is like
he hasn't quite learned how to cheat to win in every scenario, but that is the same dickhead MJF we all come to know.
It is
and
literally
love.
It's just 6-figure MJF.
It literally is. And he is facing Matt Cross.
Yes, who is a 20-year-old veteran who is just an indie traveler. He is just a journeyman.
Yeah. Basically. He's does some flippy stuff.
Yeah, MJF shouts, "I don't have to flip to get over," which I was just like, wow, that's
very funny, even considering who won the literal match beforehand.
Yeah. There's a heat seeker for a 2 count that they call like a rope assisted pile driver.
You can tell a lot in MJF's mannerisms here in particular that he was a very big CM Punk fan growing up. I was getting a lot of heel CM Punk energy from MJF in this match in particular.
Yeah, like Jeff Hardy-esque. Not
yeah,
but like Jeff Hardy era of just like talking during the match. Like kind of what Roman Reigns does now.
Yes.
A shooting star press wins the match, by the way.
Yes. I did want to say at one point, MJF hit this beautiful Gunt Wretch power bomb.
Yeah.
Almost out of nowhere that got me out of my socks. Matt Cross had that comeback with one arm too. That was pretty killer.
Yeah. Yeah. And the shooting star press, which was picture perfect.
As it should be.
Guevara-esque.
I wish Matt Cross was a 3-time TNT champion.
I'm gonna wink in every episode now.
Oh no.
It's a different wink. You can't use it, otherwise it's out of date. You're gonna have an out of date wink, Derek. You don't want an out of date wink.
Winks are like snowflakes. No two are the same.
Out of date wink. Title of your
How much have you abused winking since I taught you how to wink the other week?
You didn't. Okay. I hope you don't realize. I hope you realize that was a gimmicked wink.
That
and I know how to wink. It's just the bit.
Oh, I get it. You don't want to admit that I could teach you something.
No, not little short 5'6" Derek.
That's not how tall I am. I'm only 5'4". But so is the Ring of Honor.
You are short.
But so is the Ring of Honor World Champion. So eat rocks.
I'm 6'3". Yeah. Yeah. I gave this a 2 out of 4 because I think this shouldn't have opened.
I give it a 3.25 out of 5. It is a great match. I think it was too short.
Yeah. This is one of the shortest matches.
I think it is the shortest match. Yeah, I'm looking at the times here. It is the shortest match on the card.
Okay. Sean Mooney interviews Nick Aldis, and they think they're throwing it to like Jay Lethal or something.
Yeah, they said we're gonna go back to Sean Mooney with Christopher Daniels.
Yeah, they think that. Yeah, and then it's just not.
It's just Nick Aldis instead, which sure, okay.
Yeah. And like just previewing that match that's gonna happen in the middle of the card.
Mm-hmm.
Up next, it's SCU's Christopher Daniels versus Bullet Club's Stephen Amell. And Jerry Lynn is officiating this match.
Yeah, he's just like a ref. And like it kind of plays into the match, but like not in how you'd expect it to.
Yeah. Yeah, Stephen Amell comes out with like Bullet Club music.
Yeah,
It's kind of funny.
It is funny, honestly. This is the guy who fought Stardust.
Yeah. They reference that. They say that he's undefeated, but he's only wrestled in tag matches before.
That's true. This is his first singles match.
Yes. Frankie Kazarian without hair is very shocking.
Yes.
He looks bad. He looks worse. I wouldn't say he looks bad, but he looks better with hair.
He's gone through such a hair journey in his career. At one point having like long hair.
Yeah, and this is coming from Derrick.
Yeah.
who in our short little 2-year burst has had
all of the hair.
Many different interesting hairstyles.
Yes. Not a lot of them have worked.
He's going for a mullet now, which I approve of.
I mean, I'm just wearing my hair up, but sure.
John Mayer is at ringside, and if I played the acoustic guitar, I'd be freaking out.
John Mayer being at ringside for All In doesn't compute in my head.
Right?
It's just wrong.
Sounds bad.
That's like being in a monster. It's like being in a monster truck race, and it's like, here's our special guest at ringside, Snoop Dogg.
That makes sense, though. He's everywhere.
That's true.
It'd be like at a political rally, and it's just Future.
It's Fred Durst. Fred Durst at ringside at like a Donald Trump rally.
GOP's favorite
Still flips off the camera and gets into trouble.
This match is no DQ, I guess, because Jerry Lynn doesn't enforce any rules.
Hey, it's the AEW special. I thought this match had DQs.
Stephen Amell does a Van Daminator.
Mm-hmm.
Or coast to coast, as Derek was gonna say.
Yeah. A Shane McMahon style coast to coast.
Yeah. Christopher Daniels is the one botch in this is from Christopher Daniels, who barely hits a BME.
But he's a 20-year veteran.
Yeah. It's just like Don Callis being like, he didn't get all of that one, Excalibur.
But so Christopher Daniels defeats the actor who's not a wrestler.
Yeah. With a BME for the CDW.
Yes. It was okay. It was a match, you know.
Yeah.
It was good for a celebrity. I have this 2.5 out of 5. It's good for a celebrity match.
Yeah. And I have a quote. For you from Stephen Amell. He says, I don't want to break kayfabe, but when it came to select the guy who we wanted to work with at All In, Cody was very insistent that I be with a guy that has the know-how and wherewithal that Christopher Daniels has. He was nothing short of a lifesaver in the ring, because about 3 minutes in, I did what I anticipated would happen, and what everyone told me would happen. I blew up. Couldn't catch my breath. I had no idea where I was. Being in there with a guy like CD, I couldn't have done it without him.
Class act, that guy.
It just shows you that wrestling is hard. Wrestling has more than one royal family, even though the Nightmare family.
Speaking of family and wrestling, we get to the 4 quarters match.
Well, first of all, Don Callis leaves because he says he has to see Kenny Omega, which is nice. It's nice that happened. So this can become a 4-person commentary as Tennille Dashwood and Mandy Leone join commentary.
I don't remember who Mandy Leone is. Like, it felt like she was a big deal when on commentary. I was like, oh, who's that?
She's still signed as Ring of Honor to Ring of Honor. So,
well, is she?
Yeah, it says that she's still signed to Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
But this match is Britt Baker versus Tessa Blanchard versus Chelsea Green versus Madison Rayne, with Paul Turner officiating the match. Yes. Senior official of Ring of Honor, Paul Turner. And
Tessa on her way to the ring meets up with her dad, Tully Blanchard, and Magnum TA, which I forgot about, which is a nice surprise.
Who is her godfather?
Mm-hmm.
in real life. And Britt Baker comes out to Adam Cole's ROH music, which I forgot about, so it made me a little happy.
Yeah, and everyone was like, "Oh, that's Adam Cole's music," but he's dead.
Yeah, and I forgot that Chelsea Green was like had this like bipolar character.
Oh yeah, the hot mess.
Yeah, forgot that.
This is the only time I can think of where she was the hot mess Chelsea Green, because her name was Laurel Van Ness when she had the character in Impact.
Don't tell me, Derek. I don't know Impact that well. You're our Impact Wrestling aficionado.
Sure.
This match is.
It is.
It is on the card. Hey, in classic AEW fashion, there's a women's match on the card, and it's not very good.
Yes. And honestly, it's not very good because Britt Baker is a little in over her head.
Yeah, this is like kind of sloppy. And honestly, the best wrestler being Tessa, she kind of does some weird botchy shit too.
I don't know, but I think Madison Rayne looks very impressive in this match for wrestling ability. I think wrestling wise, she was the standout in the match for me.
Yeah. I knew at the time the only person I knew going in was Tessa Blanchard, though.
Right.
Because she was about to win the Impact Championship, wasn't she?
She was. This was 2018, so this was, I think, during fall. I think this was during the beginning of her Sami Callihan feud.
She had just won the Impact Knockouts Championship.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and can we talk about the finish, because it sure does just finish.
Gosh, if I hadn't just seen WrestleMania 38 with Charlotte Flair versus Ronda Rousey also kind of just finishing, I would have been like, "What the hell?" But I've seen this recently, so I'm not as impacted by it.
Yeah, so the finish is that Tessa Blanchard does like a ripcord hammerlock DDT, but doesn't she just does the actual DDT thing. She doesn't trap the other arms with a hammer. So Madison Rayne, it's I'm pretty sure it's Chelsea Green. Chelsea Green is just holding her hand behind her arm behind her back just by herself. And so that happens, and then she covers. So Tessa covers Green, and then Paul Turner counts 1, 2, 3, and as 3 happens, Baker like lunges at them,
right?
And then Paul Turner calls for it, and commentary thinks that the match is not over, and then the bell does ring. As if nobody. So Tessa Blanchard wins, and it's like nobody knew that was going to be the finish, but Tessa and Chelsea.
Right. Tessa Blanchard is indie wrestling's version of Charlotte Flair.
Oh, I don't know about that because people don't like Charlotte as a character, and people don't like Tessa as a person.
Here's my question. Do you think if Charlotte was an Impact, she would have won the Impact World Championship by now?
No.
I think she would have.
I think you're wrong.
Okay.
I don't think she'd be signed for it to Impact.
If she was, I think she'd be world champion.
If she were to be.
That is what I said.
Right. No. Yeah, but I'm correcting your grammar. You're welcome.
That's toxic.
I'm being toxic. Toxic. English. Everybody knows English is the most toxic language.
So, Micah, I have a question for you. Oh, what do you rate this match? Yeah.
Derek, what did you want to? I rate this half out of 4.
I give it 1.5 out of 5. That might be too generous, but
I feel like if this match happened now, it would be way better. But this is face Britt Baker.
Yes.
So, and there's a reason that Britt Baker needs to be a heel.
Yes. Micah, so I have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Were there more people in the over the budget battle royal than there were in Cody Rhodes' entrance for this next match.
Well, okay, so before we get to that, we see Chico and Fat Ass Masa on screen.
The legends. Don't they refer to them as such?
The legendary Fat Ass Masa, and then it's asked if that's his real name, and Excalibur says, yeah, it's on his passport. And then Brett Tarring joins commentary, who's the commentary for NWA. I don't think he is anymore.
No, I don't think so either.
I wonder what he's doing. Yeah, there's not even a hyperlink to his name. Yes. So the next match, officiated by Earl Hebner, Cody versus Nick Aldis. And Cody is accompanied by everyone he's ever met. He's accompanied by Tommy Dreamer, DDP, Glacier, and Brandy Rhodes.
And his dog. What's his dog's name?
Pharaoh. Up until, not all the way, but
yes.
Pharaoh is walking.
Nick Aldis is accompanied by everyone that you've changed your Impact screen because of.
Well, he's accompanied by Sean Daivari, Jeff Jarrett, Tim Storm, and a mustacheless Dexter Loomis.
Very weird. Samuel Shaw, back when he was not good because they had him talk.
As I have in my notes, WCW is all in.
This was the rebirth of WCW. If that is a company that emerges again, this match will be credited for it.
Remember when WCW 2021 was like a huge thing?
That was funny. I knew that was never going to be a thing from the moment it was released, and I just loved how stupid it was. So Cody versus Nick Aldis.
This is my least favorite of their matches.
Which is crazy.
And I love this match.
This is my favorite of their matches. And I love this match. This match is, I think legitimately this match is where Cody solidified himself as a storyteller in the ring, because he told the story of needing to win this championship and cement himself in his father's legacy.
His father, the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes.
Yes, of course. That is the basis of this match. Well, gives it that extra.
Because I think this story shows that Cody's willing to do and risk everything to win the title that his dad once held.
Yeah, exactly. That's his storytelling wise. This was Cody showing his stuff. This is Cody being like, this match is going to feel like an hour-long match, and you're going to love every second of it.
Yeah. I said Cody's Ring of Honor is also on the line.
Yes. Which is weird, because that was originally, for a time period, the Ring of Honor Championship.
Yeah.
And then it wasn't, but Cody still had it.
Well, that is such a Cody thing.
Yeah.
Having a ring. AEW has a lot of the things in place that they do because of that's just a Cody influence thing. The Dynamite Diamond ring. The ring is such a they used to be it's $45,000 as right. There was the Orange Cassidy Chris Jericho feud where it was over $7,000 for the scarf. A lot of Codyisms.
Yeah.
And true true old wrestling shit.
Mm-hmm.
Seeing Cody wrestle with the weight belt on for a sustained period of time feels wrong.
It's very weird.
It doesn't feel right. It actually felt like a glove. Right. Oh yeah, this is when I fell in love with. I mean, this is when I started to like Cody.
Right.
I'm not in love with him. You can't prove that.
Nick Aldis. This is probably the perfect role for Nick Aldis, is to be both the guy who's representing the old style still works, but also as the guy standing in the way between Cody Rhodes and his father, the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes' legacy.
Yes. Minutes in, there is a severe anti-air from Aldis from an attempted Cody splash. And he's like acting like he can't continue, as if this is the worst thing that has ever happened to him professionally. Like he's like crying in DDP's lap, unbloody. And that's important. And then Sean Daivari comes in and he's just like, "What are you doing? Like, you gotta, if he can't continue, he loses." A justified heel. And then DDP's like, "Come on, man, give him a chance." And then he shoves DDP, in which I have my notes. He's pushing P.
Fuck off.
That's our Gen Z reference of the week.
Hit the air horns.
And DDP gives him Daivari a cutter for his villainy, and then Earl Hebner is just like, Get out of here. Get out of here, you kids.
Get out of here.
Hey, you.
Shoo.
And this is actually 2 minutes. So I'm for Nick Aldis retention, and he should have held the belt for like 1,500 days.
Yeah.
God, he held the belt for so long.
He really did. And then he lost it to Trevor Murdoch.
Who lost it correctly.
To Zack Ryder. Say that in 2009.
Yeah. So the cutter stuff happens, and they're all sent to the back, and this is 2 minutes later, and then it cuts to Cody, and now he's bleeding, which he wasn't while he's crying in DDP's lap minutes before, and wrestling is stupid, and why do I watch it?
It wouldn't be a Cody Rhodes match if he didn't start bleeding.
Right. Then like Aldis like really gets the upper hand on Cody because he's like opening up the cut, and then he gets Cody down. And Aldis is going for an elbow drop. He signals for it, and then Brandy just comes out of the middle of nowhere, covers Cody. She gets the elbow drop. To which I said, I have in my notes, another thing WWE stole from AEW. Because Corbin attacks Becky Lynch. Who's married to Seth Rollins, because that's what they want. I know. Back then, they wouldn't tell you. It was very hush hush. And then Cody hits a crossroads, and it goes for a pin, as if one crossroads has ever. It only beats the Miz. Apparently,
he doesn't even go for a pin after the first crossroads anymore.
He got into Vertebreaker. Which I forgot that Cody actually ended matches with the Vertebreaker.
Yeah.
In New Japan only.
Very weird also considering that the Hurricane is on this card.
Yeah. And then Aldis goes for a sunset flip, and Cody leans into it and takes the legs. And that's the pinfall. And that's how Dusty won one of his NWA World Championships. And that's poetic.
How Cody won his only NWA World Championship.
His only so far. I guess we're not going to get Cody and Aldis 3 unless.
No, I don't see it.
You know that report that came out that's just WWE is changing all these names?
Yeah.
Does that mean they're going to change Cody's name? Because he's
absolutely not.
And they're going to change Brock Lesnar's name because that's his real name. And
well, because they said there's some exceptions, which is literally probably just the people who are already well known as their real name.
So AJ, Brock, Cody.
Well, AJ's not his real name.
But that's the name that he used on the indies.
Right, but they're changing real names, not indies.
But they're also changing names that were used on the indies, which is why Walter was changed.
I'm pretty sure Walter was changed because Walter's his real name.
His real name isn't just Walter in caps.
Are you sure about that?
I'm not sure about that.
On his birth certificate, it's just Walter in big letters.
I guess.
But anyway, Micah, how do you rate Cody Rhodes versus Nick Aldis.
Surprisingly, I rate this 3.5 out of 4. This is my favorite match on the card.
I give this a 4.5 out of 5 stars.
I think that's your highest rated. I think we both just gave our highest rated matches in all of these reviews.
Maybe.
You can't say this is AEW bias, Ref Marsh, because this isn't an AEW show.
And half of this, neither of the people in this match work for AEW.
I guess.
It's
One
true.
of them's actually in WWE. So
yeah.
really.
Samuel Shaw.
Yeah. Oh, I was going to say Jeff Jarrett. He's like an ambassador.
He's in GCW. He's like wrestling.
Oh.
Yeah, Jarrett.
He
had a match
next.
with Effie recently.
I know. Up next, Hangman Adam Page versus the bad boy Joey Janela, with Todd Sinclair officiating, who also officiated the MJF match.
Never mind. This match lives in an interesting universe.
The
Because
BTE universe.
The BTE universe. Because Joey Ryan is dead, and that's apparently a big part of this match.
Yeah. This is when Don Callis says to Ian Riccaboni about him and Excalibur, he and I both sucked as wrestlers. Because Ian Riccaboni keeps saying like, "Oh, when you guys were great wrestlers," and Don Callis has had enough of it.
Don Callis is like, "No, I wasn't. That's why I'm here."
Yeah, this is a Chicago street fight.
Yes, which makes sense because they're in Chicago.
Yeah, there's a burning hammer in this fucking match, Derek.
There's a burning hammer to a ladder, right?
Yeah,
and it's not the finish.
First of all, my head, I'm not sure if you saw that and we're just like, Micah's head is going off right now.
Yeah.
But it sure fucking was. I was just like, I forgot there was a burning hammer in this fucking match.
And then following the burning hammer was a spot with a Cracker Barrel.
A Cracker Barrel.
Yes. A barrel by Cracker Barrel.
Yes. This match sponsored by both Cracker Barrel and TJF Fridays. I'm going to guess because they went to TJF Fridays in Tokyo.
Yeah, probably.
There's Penelope Ford interference, which I forgot how good she is in limited capacities.
Yeah.
She stuns Adam Page, and Adam Page takes a better. He sells a stunner better than Vince.
This match is just like every Hangman Adam Page AEW World Championship defense. Basically,
except he doesn't bleed.
Except he doesn't bleed, which is weird. It's honestly like in a street fight with Adam Page, it's a little weird that he's not completely bloody at the end of it.
Yeah, there's also a spot that might be familiar to somebody in AEW because it's a dead eye from a ladder through a table.
Except it's not called dead eye at this point, right?
I think it is called a dead eye at this point for sure.
Okay.
It's okay. It's okay. I'm not like upset.
Well, no, because I thought they did it and then they referred it to something else, and I was like, oh, that's interesting.
Well, they call it a dead eye earlier in the match. And then I don't think they say what it is. It's just the dead eye.
Okay. I thought they called it by a different name. That's why I was.
What was the name that you were thought it was called?
I can't remember it. That's
because
so.
It's by the dead eye. But then after this, so Paige wins. Duh.
And nothing happens after the match. Next.
I'm actually okay with that.
Yeah. You know what happens after this match. You know what happens.
Derek, put up the Derek, put up a little video. It's fine.
I don't even know if I want to. You know what happens. We don't need to say anything more.
Up next, it is Jay Lethal versus Flip Gordon for the Ring of Honor World Championship with Bobby Cruz.
Now, as Jay Lethal is about to make his way to ringside, an off-screen hand, which later can only be assumed to be the person that accompanies Jay Lethal to ringside, hands him Macho Man Randy Savage glasses. And as you'd expect, Jay Lethal then comes out as Black Machismo, Jay Lethal, with the real life brother of Macho Man Randy Savage, Lanny Poffo, the genius.
I'm very happy. I don't know if I've got to talk about it on this show, but I think Jay Lethal is super underrated. I'm glad that he's getting more of a spotlight in AEW since he signed at Full Year.
Yeah.
I know that he's got that weird little faction, but I think that I want him to be like the higher up gatekeeper of Ring of Honor.
Oh, and he will be. For sure.
He's so good. It's like crazy. Like, say what you want him personally, like allegations, which I don't know anything about. He is good at wrestling. Like, there are people who are like Joey Ryan. Like, we're not talking about Joey Ryan because he's not really that good of a wrestler. But like, it's a shame when shit like that happens about like Jay Lethal, who has unequivocally been a good wrestler for 15 plus years.
Yeah. And also, I don't know what Jay Lethal's allegations are, but Joey Ryan's were damning, and he did not say that they didn't happen.
Yeah.
But anyway, Jay Lethal and Flip Gordon, two unproblematic people fighting for the Ring of Honor World Championship.
Yeah, Flip Gordon. I don't think that he actually has said anything super controversial. He just is weird.
He's like bad views.
Well, bad views doesn't mean bad.
But like very bad views. Like Jackson Riker level bad views. As I was saying when we were talking about the Battle Royal, Flip Gordon is good at flips. End of sentence.
Yes.
Brandy Rhodes is with him for some reason. I guess they were friends at this point in BTE history. But Cody didn't book him.
Yeah, it's weird. And like Brandy is dressed up as like how somebody in like World War II would dress up to do like a stage show of somebody in the army.
Right, because Flip Gordon is in the army. He was like actively in the army at the time.
Guard. He was in the National Guard. He was not in the army.
Mm-hmm. He was actively in some sort of military branch. This match was Jay Lethal putting on a good match, and Flip Gordon making some of it look very pretty. What else do you have to say about this match, Micah?
Black Machismo. I don't think that can AEW pull that off without Jim Cornette going insane. This is literally everything that Jim Cornette hates.
AEW can't do anything without Jim Cornette going insane.
He actually loves CM Punk shit.
Which is crazy. That doesn't make sense to me. That feels wrong. And he likes FTR, which makes total sense to me and just seems completely right.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he turns back into regular Jay Lethal because Brandy like does the shoulder thing, and then Lanny Poffo hits the shoulder again, and he's Black Machismo, and there's like a nice little Hulk Hogan spot ish, with Flip Gordon, and then the Lethal Injection gets the pinfall, and then Bully Ray comes out and attacks everyone, and then attempts to put people through a table, and then Colt Cabana.
Boom, boom.
Boom, boom.
Cool. Great. This was when they were doing a brief Colt Cabana like main event push in Ring of Honor. Like they were going towards a more serious Colt Cabana for a brief period of time.
Yeah, because he was like half commentary.
Yeah.
Too. Like, do you remember during the ROH New Japan's G1 Supercard show at Madison Square Garden, where Toru Yano takes over Colt Cabana's commentary responsibilities because Toru Yano gives Colt Cabana his Rumble spot? Yeah. So that's where it started going south for Colt Cabana in Ring of Honor, I guess. I give this 1.5 out of 5 stars just because I don't like the way that Flip Gordon wrestles.
Yeah,
like Flip Gordon is like I know that this is an indie show, so like I should expect flips and stuff, but like Flip Gordon isn't good at wrestling, and he's literally from like 2 towns over from me.
Yeah,
like literally, he is a local person. So I'm saying this out of like I bet as a person he is fun to talk to. I actually saw him at an indie show. I've seen a Flip Gordon match live, and it was awesome because AC Romero was in it.
Mm-hmm.
Who else was in that match? Ace Austin was in that match too. It was sick.
Mm-hmm.
AC Romero in a fucking ladder match.
He's big dude. Good. He's really good.
He's real good. He should.
Have you seen the clip of him? I think it's him pouncing Marco Stunt in a match.
Does he not do that in the Casino Battle Royale?
I think he does. I mean, he's pounced a good amount of people out of the ring, but there's one where he like pounces someone out of the ring into the crowd.
Yeah. Now it is time for Kenny by God Omega versus Penta El Zero, officiated by Ring of Honor head of senior official Paul Turner.
When people were saying, when's Kenny Omega going to arrive in AEW, this is who they were talking about.
Yes. I literally have "this is Kenny Omega" in all caps. Donald Callis should call every Kenny Omega match retroactively. Like, I love, oh man, Don Callis gushing over Kenny Omega's brilliance is awesome.
It's amazing. And honestly, if you need a person to go against someone who's a really good wrestler, and you just need someone who's going to make the match really good and really fun, that is when you call Penta El Zero Miedo.
Yeah. I actually don't have many notes for this because I wanted to watch this match. Watch this match.
Yeah, just watch it.
Anything Derrick says will not do it justice. Anything I say will not do it justice.
Just watch it.
Please.
4 3/4 out of 5 stars.
3.5 out of 4 stars. It's real.
There was also a match after this one.
Yeah.
I'll be completely honest, did not watch it on my rewatch of All In.
I did. Twice.
Tell me about it. It's because I'll tell you first why I didn't watch it.
Let's see what match it is. Let's see what match it is.
Yes. This is
Kazuchika Okada versus Marty Scurll, officiated by Tiger Hattori.
Yes. So there's a multitude of reasons why I decided not to watch this match.
Right.
One, I am busy and something needed to get cut. So, 2, this is the longest match on the card. And it felt like it when I watched it live. It's long. It's
an Okada
short
match.
for an Okada. It's short for an Okada match, but it's long
for a Marty Scurll match.
And like Marty Scurll is fine. He's okay.
Talk about cancel culture as a show.
You literally talk about literally the first
3 matches in a row.
The first match, no one's super problematic, which is hilarious because one of the 2 people's MJF in the first match. You get nothing yet in the Daniels Amell, and then you're hit with Tessa Blanchard.
Yeah. Then you're hit with Cody.
And then you're hit with Joey Ryan. And then you're hit with Flip Gordon.
And then Jay Lethal.
And then you get a break to watch a good wrestling match.
And then you get Kenny Omega because people think it's weird that he wrestled the 9-year-old girl in DDT.
But that is a lot different than Jay Lethal, Flip Gordon, Tessa Blanchard, Joey Ryan.
Yes. And then it gets to Marty Scurll.
And Marty Scurll.
Yeah.
So, Micah, is this match as long as it feels again.
So this match does drag, but only because of the style that every other match is. So like this feels out of place. If this was on like Wrestling Dontaku New Japan, no. But because of the style of ROH, because of like ROH is way more like high action and Okada is very like grounded. Here's a drop kick. My finisher is a clothesline.
Yeah.
And this is like post champion depressed Okada. Like, I'm never gonna win back this belt. He
like dyed red hair. Like dyed red hair Okada. Is he coming out with balloons in this one? I do not remember.
Does what?
Does he come out with balloons in this one? No.
He sure doesn't. Wow. I have some quotes for this.
Okay.
For this match. Mike Johnson is reported as saying, I don't know if it aired on TV, but they were literally having people run to the ring during Marty Scurll versus Okada, yelling at Scurll, go home, you have to go home. And at one point, there was even consideration because someone who was on the headset heard that Cody Rhodes said, just ring the bell and call it a draw. We have to move on. And that almost happened. So, they're all denying it now, but there was a little bit of heat on Scurll afterwards. He definitely got chastised in the back after this. And Marty has gone on the record by saying, normally I don't like to reveal the curtain back too much, but in this case I will. My match went a minute over. People were saying like 14 minutes over. No, the show ran 14 minutes over. A bunch of the other matches went over. Our match is crucified because we were the match before last. It looks like, oh, these guys went over. No. The show went over.
If this wasn't 4 minutes longer than the second longest match on the card, I'd believe that. But you are telling me that this match was planned to get more time than Cody versus Nick Aldis?
Yeah, a non-title match is the longest card of longest match of the card.
You're telling me that Kazuchika Okada versus Marty Scurll was penciled in as the longest match of this card, and not Cody versus Nick Aldis or Hangman Page versus Joey Janela?
There's a lot of like, I'm gonna dump you over the ropes, and like you're gonna be outside for like a little bit, and like those build up. Like it kind of felt like a 2010-13 Randy Orton match, where like even though it was like not that long, like I've seen longer. Quote, that was like it just built up, so it felt longer. It just feels long. It's not like super long.
It is. I'm looking at the time. It is 26 minutes and 5 seconds long.
Yeah.
Which is, hey, shorter than some matches.
Yeah, Okada wins with a bevy. I think just 2 Rainmakers. Then we move on to the last match of the card. We rushed to the last match of the card. Who am I kidding? Yeah. The Golden Elite, the Young Bucks, Matt and Nick Jackson, and Kota Ibushi versus Rey Mysterio Jr., Rey Fenix, and Bandito.
Crazy that Rey Mysterio is in this match, considering how soon he was about to pop back up in WWE.
Literally a month later.
Literally a month later, Rey Mysterio was back in WWE.
And this match is 200 miles the whole time because they are fitting, supposedly, according to the Young Bucks autobiography, this match was supposed to be 28 minutes, and it got cut to, quote, 9.
Yeah, this match
literally is like the epitome of like indie wrestling, though.
Yeah.
Big names, big spots only. This
is every PWG match you've ever seen.
Yeah, that 5-on-5 with like Justin Liger and Keith Lee and Tommaso Ciampa.
Yeah. Minus all the ass comedy spots.
Yeah. But like this is just big move after big move. Like golden triangle flip. Rey Mysterio does some weird Rey Mysterio shit. The fact, all right, Kota Ibushi and Rey Mysterio have only been in the same match once, and it's this match. And my little head was exploding at this time because I'm like, it's Kota Ibushi and Rey Mysterio.
Your small, short, little, short head.
Listen, I would not say my head is very big.
Oh, sorry. Yes, your large head on your small, short body.
Appropriately, the Meltzer driver wins this match.
Why wouldn't it? Meltzer was there. He was for sure there, right?
Yeah. I gave this 3 out of 4. If this match did not have to go very fast, I bet it would be better, but I don't think I'd rate it as highly.
Yes. I give this match a 4 out of 5 stars, but I will say respectfully, this match is a better example of why I used to not like the Young Bucks so much.
I get it. I watched this and I was just like, I get it.
Yeah. This match was like when I watched this match live, I was like, why is the Young Bucks main eventing this? It should, in my head, I was like, this should have been Kenny and Penta main eventing.
I mean, like in theory, it really should have been Cody and Aldis.
It was literally for the NWA World Championship.
Yeah, I know. In 2018, I know. Nick Aldis won at like some random indie event. I know, but it's Cody.
Actually, the match he beats Tim Storm for the title and is pretty good.
I don't believe you, but tell me it's not in like some random indie event in Pennsylvania.
It's in Championship Wrestling in Hollywood, which was like where a lot of NWA stuff was stationed before Billy Corgan took up the company.
Yeah.
And made it so much better.
And worse at the same time.
And a lot worse at the same time. Tyrus is still a champion. That's wrong.
Check back in 2 months for the Devoid Mid-Year Awards.
Yes, where I will almost certainly name Tyrus as the worst wrestler of the year.
I've got one to beat Tyrus.
Commander Aziz is also pretty far up there.
Oh, I was going to say Omos.
Omos is also pretty far up there. I have hopes for Satnam Singh. Not a lot, but they're hopes.
Right. Derrick, what would you rate All In as a show?
As a show, I would give All In 3.5 out of 5 stars.
I'm saying 2 3/4 out of 4.
The matches that are good. The matches that aren't that good are short enough to where it doesn't matter that much. With the exception of the one I didn't watch. And
the match that is bad is forgettable. People don't remember All In for that match.
Right.
Because again, AEW, there's only one women's match.
Yes, on every card.
Even though Jordan Grace is in the over the budget battle royal, which is weird because she's really short compared to every other tall person in that match.
Yes. Like every AEW show, there's one women's match, and you just have to hope that Britt Baker is wrestling against someone good.
And she does. She wrestles against 2 people who are good.
Yes. And she barely wins. She doesn't
win.
She almost wins.
She loses, actually.
Yeah. Anyway, thanks for coming to the Devoid Wrestling Podcast.
Yes.
We'll see you next week.
Make sure to subscribe and share and all of that. I've been me, you've been you, and we'll see you tomorrow.